Who pays the medical bills of a passenger that is injured in a car accident? That's our topic on this episode of Main Street Law. My guest is Texas personal injury attorney Greg Anderson of the law offices of Terry Bryant, and he's going to talk with us about this topic. So Greg, thanks for being here.
Well, thank you, Cindy.
Well, Greg, if I'm a passenger in a car that is involved in an auto accident and I'm injured, who pays my medical bills?
Well, there's several sources of payment in a situation like that. First, you would look to the auto policy of the driver, and if the driver has what's called PIP or MedPay, PIP stands for Personal Injury Protection, and PIP and MedPay are both no-fault type insurance coverages, usually written in limits of $2,500, sometimes as high as $10,000 I've seen, but that's pretty unusual. And that would be one source that would pay your medical bills. You would also look at your own insurance policy, not just the driver's. You may have that protection also, and you could stack your own coverage on top of the driver's coverage. And then the third source would be to look at the liability policies of either the driver of your vehicle, if he or she were at fault, or the driver of the other vehicle.
Now, you mentioned that your own insurance policy could factor into this. So my question is, could that make your insurance go up?
Well, I would never want to speak for what motivates an insurance company or what goes through their minds, but yes, it could. I'm not sure that that's really the case that often, but they certainly could take that into account at renewal time.
Okay, so is it something where you should try to avoid using your own insurance, or do you not have that option?
Well, you do have the option of avoiding using your own insurance. That's voluntary, but of course that's why you have it, and that's why you pay the premium year after year. So I would advise using it. You know, if your rates do go up, then they go up, but I don't think that that's typically the case.
Okay, now Greg, are there any situations where the injured passenger can actually be partially at fault and therefore not entitled to recover for his injuries?
Yes, you know, that would be a pretty unusual situation. For instance, a passenger, if the passenger grabbed the steering wheel from the driver and veered the car into a ditch or another vehicle, again, that's a pretty unusual situation, but that could happen. That would make recovery against the liability policies that I mentioned a moment ago difficult, if not impossible. But these other coverages we discussed, PIP and MedPay, are no-fault type coverages, so whether the driver or the passenger is at fault or not would not be relevant in that situation, and they could still recover under those coverages.
Okay, and one more question, Greg. What if the passenger is a 10-year-old child and is seriously injured with long-term physical issues, but the parent chooses not to file a claim? Does that child have any recourse once he reaches age 18 and has the authority to file a claim himself?
Yes and no. With regard to the third-party liability claims in the state of Texas anyway, and I would imagine it's the same or similar in every other state, the child has until he or she reaches the age of 18 plus 2 years in order to make a claim. So that would still be available, although in Texas the medical bill claim is actually owned by the parent. So if the parent didn't pursue the medical bill claim for bills incurred before the child turns 18, then that claim would be lost. Now, with regard to the no-fault situation, those are contractual rather than common law claims, so those claims usually would have to be made under most policies within 90 days of the occurrence.
Okay, well, Greg, if someone wants more information, how can they reach the law offices of Terry Bryant?
Well, we'd be happy to answer any questions anyone has. They can call us here at 800-444-5000 or get on our website at terrybryant.com.
Very good. Greg, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks a lot, Cindy.
This is Cindy Speaker for Main Street Law.